Hey, welcome. I am talking with Jill Konrath, who is without a doubt one of the I think the premier person when it comes to writing books on sales. Her book that we're going to talk about right now is More Sales in Less Time. But Jill, tell us, how many books have you written and how many thousands, hundreds of thousands of copies have you sold in total?
I have no idea how many I've sold, but I have written 4 sales books.
And they're all absolutely, the first one, Selling to Big Companies, right? That was your first
Still
book, right?
selling really well. Yep, from 2005, and then Snap Selling, and then which is about how to sell to today's crazy busy buyers, and then Agile Selling, which is about how to get up to speed fast in a new sales position, and now this new one, More Sales, Less Time. So.
Okay, so tell me, what makes more sales, less time? Besides, it's something we all need. Why did you write the book?
Well, I actually wrote the book. The concept started after I wrote Snap Selling, which is about selling to crazy busy buyers. And people came up to me repeatedly and said, "Oh my God, Jill, this is like changing everything, and I'm getting through, and decisions are getting unstuck. So it's really working, but I'm crazy busy too. What do you have for me?" And for years I'd say, "I don't have anything. I'm like so freaking busy myself. I don't know how to get everything done. I feel like I have more to do at the end of the day than I have at the beginning of the day. And I don't know what's wrong with me." And they were all concurring.
So from that, you just, boom, the book.
Well, what finally happened is I decided I was sick of living that way. I mean, I was literally sick of feeling like I was always behind the 8 ball and like I could never get anything done. And I finally said, I got to figure this beast out. What is actually going on here? Why am I so crazy busy? Why can't I get my arms around this beast? And so I literally spent a year or two studying the what was affecting me, and I was kind of blown away by what I learned, because it was not what I was expecting. And I am no time management guru. I'm like a normal human being who struggles with the same issues as everybody else. And so that was how I approached it. But I went into the field of neuroscience and cognitive science and psychiatry and psychology and all sorts of fields to find out what was going on with my brain and why was I having such a hard time getting things done.
Yeah. Well, as I was reading the book, you're sitting there talking about how you get caught up in this video or download this. And I go, that's me. That's me. I mean, you were literally talking to me.
Yes.
And the issues that I have with trying to get everything done, because I'm kind of wired. I mean, I think all salespeople are wired the same way. We get distracted very easily.
Yes.
And this book was really, this thing was the 2x4 across the head, so to speak.
It was a 2x4 for me too. But here's the thing I discovered, and it's not just salespeople who are wired for distraction. It is the human brain. And that's what, honestly, it was like it took me off the hook. Like I was a bad person when I discovered that my brain, the amygdala part of my brain, is literally wired to look for new things in the environment. So here we are living and working in a digital world. We're online all the time. I mean, do you know how many new things cross our path as we're online? And our brain is looking for them. And every time our amygdala finds a new thing, it goes, look, new, click, read, look. And then it gets rewarded with a shot of dopamine. And the brain is literally saying, good job, amygdala. Good job. You actually found something new. No, this isn't bad, but it's new. So good job. And so we literally get hooked on this dopamine, which is a feel-good hormone that is highly addictive. So now we're online and we want more of this dopamine. We want to click and watch and, all this. And so we literally are wired that way. And so knowing that it wasn't my own shortcomings, that I would get my email in the morning and then click on my LinkedIn email, and then I'd be reading an article on 9 cringe-inducing ways to avoid customers hating you. And then I'd click from that to something else. And the next thing I know, I'd be wondering what the weather was going to be like on Saturday. And I'd check the weather. And then I would be watching a sinkhole in Florida.
Wait a minute. That's what I did this morning. I watched a sinkhole. No, okay.
Yes, but see, that's what we do. And then the next thing I'm looking at what Kim Kardashian wore at the upcoming event. I'm going, I don't even like Kim Kardashian. How did I end up here?
That's not my problem. I don't have a problem with Kim Kardashian.
Maybe you're watching a cat video or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So
that's what our brain does, and we have to stop that.
Yeah. So what was the big takeaway that, after you wrote the book, how do you say that your life or your workday has changed because of the book?
Well, that's really easy. My goal in writing the book, I mean, I spent a lot of time researching and trying to figure out what was going on. But my goal, once I understood what was going on with my brain and how I was physically reacting, my goal was to make the same amount of income working 30 hours a week. So that's a big switch. How can I make the same amount of income but work significantly less? And I have to say that this past year, which has been one of the most challenging personally in my life, has been my best year. And I have worked less this year than I have worked in a long, long time. But it's better.
So the book is making you money.
And I'm not making it from the book. I mean, the reality is I am making it from changing how I work.
Yeah, interesting.
And changing how I think and freeing up space in my brain. Because it's not just, here's the thing that really bothers me when I look at it. It's not just time we're losing. And the average person can add an hour or two a day. Bingo, just by stopping the distractions, which is what I cover a lot in the book. But to me, there's a benefit that's even bigger. And that benefit relates to your ability to think creatively, think strategically. And in our world today, I think sales has become a thinking profession. We have to constantly be bringing our buyers or prospects ideas and insights and information that can help them be more valuable. We have to strategize about how we're going to, knock out an incumbent that's been there forever, or how we're going to figure out how to get buy-in among a diverse group of people that don't want to change, and how we can beat out the competitor. I mean, it's all thinking type of stuff that really is so important. So when you stop being interrupted and you free up time to focus, you actually think better, more creatively, more strategically, which I think is crucial for our long-term success and short-term.
You just hit on something very, very interesting. And it's kind of a tweetable moment. Sales is not an activity profession. Sales is a thinking profession.
I've been saying that for a number of years. Sales is a thinking profession.
I'm just a little slow to catch on to that. So I'm just learning this. Yeah.
But the best salespeople are the ones who are, they think, how am I going to do this? What's the best way? They try out different solutions. They'll go forward. They'll try something. They'll sit back and go, did that work? And they'll analyze what worked. How can they change it? But they're constantly, thinking about how they're going to be approaching things, everything, they're very strategic. Yeah. And the way we're working right now with this constant online, on your computer, bouncing here, bouncing there, bouncing everywhere. It not only is eating up time, it's eating up our cognitive capacity to be the best salesperson we can be.
Wow. Hey, if there were a couple key pieces in the book for a salesperson that you would want them to know, what would it be? In other words, are there one or two things that you just do this differently, and you too can play in Jill's sandbox, work 30 hours a week, and make as much money?
Okay. The first thing I'd say that everybody really needs to focus on is what they're going to do to manage their distractions. I mean, that is like the number one thing. It's robbing us of time and our brain capacity. So managing distractions is not a function of willpower. There's no way that every one of us could all day long fight the urge. You know what I mean? Fight the urge. So what we have to do is literally build barriers around ourselves to protect ourselves from sliding into temptation, because the temptations are all around us. And so, just if you look at, avoiding the distractions, we have to live online. So what can we do? I mean, the number one thing I say to people to do right now, right now, is to go to your cell phone and turn off notifications.
Oh, look, there's a squirrel.
And I'm serious, because only like 20% of people have done anything to adjust their notifications. So all day long, their salespeople, their cell phone or their devices are popping up. You've got a new email. You've got this. Here's the score over here. 50 people are shot dead in Las Vegas. And, and it's like, boom, 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 boom. We're hitting it all over. And these are things that are stupid. They are not like worthwhile. And every time we check our email, for example, if I look down right now and have a number 1 by my email, I start getting twitchy. It's like, oh God, there's a new email there. I'm a salesperson. It might be like that prospect that I was hoping. So I have to go, check it out. Even if I'm in the middle of something.
You mean it could be that prospect that you've never prospected, but they're sending you something? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay,
yes.
That's right. Okay, got it.
So,
okay,
so anyway, research shows that the average email is attended to, or 72% of emails are attended to within 6 seconds.
What?
72% of emails are attended to because people see that little bling, you know, or they get that notification, and boom, their attention goes from whatever they're thinking about over to check out the email. They may not respond to the email, but they have to go check it out. You've
given me an idea that if I flood my competitors with a lot of emails, they won't have any time to do any work.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm just coming up with alternate strategies.
That'll get you really far.
Good. Okay, thanks. Okay.
Yeah, but here's the deal, though. Anytime you interrupt your workflow, it takes 10 to 20 times the length of the interruption to get your head back into the game. So here I am, I'm working on a proposal for a client. I'm kind of at a sticky point, you know, where it's like, oh God, you know, should I, shouldn't I? What's the best thing to do? Oh, email, bing, bing, bing. Let me go check. And now I read the email, and 20 seconds later I come back and I say, not worth it right now. So 20 seconds times 10 is 200 seconds times 200 to 400 seconds. And now I've lost 5 minutes. So is it worth it to do that, or should we be scheduling times? Anyway, turn off the notifications, number one, so you don't get your attention hijacked all the time. That'd be the number one thing I'd say, so we can regain control of our time. That's just number one. Okay. I have a gazillion ideas, but that's all I can do.
Well, how about a number two? Because that in and of itself, just saying no to stuff, I mean, it comes back to the whole Steve Jobs, we just got to stop it. But spot on. So what would be number two?
Well, let me just say, in the book, I give like a whole bunch of ways to manage the distractions, because it is that costly to us. Mm-hmm. And we are incapable of fighting them all the time. But once you get the distractions done, I'd say the number two thing you can do, which becomes the number one thing after you've managed the distractions, is to really stop every day or once a week too, and say, what is the most important thing I can do today? What is the most important thing? And the words I've been using for years is maximum impact. What could I do today that would have the maximum impact on my ability to achieve my goals? And then put it on your calendar to do it. You know, don't just say I'll get to it, because maybe prospecting is your most important thing, maybe making a bunch of calls, but I have to tell you, I can find a gazillion reasons not to pick up the phone and go prospecting. Like, you know, solving a customer billing issue, or filling out an expense report, or calling the guy who mows my lawn to tell him I want him to come early at, one day. I mean, I can think of a million things to do that are totally irrelevant, and I may not get my one thing done. So
yeah, because if you just think about a prospect, they're automatically thinking about you. So then they'll call you. Yeah.
Brainwaves.
Yeah. Hey, absolutely terrific. More sales, less time. I think it's a book with an ROI. Like I said, when I read through the book, I really thought chapter after chapter that you're talking to me. Oh, there's a squirrel. Because I'm just like so many salespeople. I can get distracted. And it's easy for our time to expand. It's so easy. And that simple thing called prospecting, or whatever it is what is that key piece, gets sidetracked and gets left off the table. Yeah. So, hey, we need to kind of wrap this up, but where can people go? You're JillKonrath.com, right?
That's it. With the Konrath with a K.
JillKonrath.com. Bingo. I spelled it right. Okay. And the book, More Sales, Less Time. And if you haven't read her other books, run through the titles.
Selling to Big Companies, Snap Selling, Agile Selling, and now More Sales, Less Time.
Cool. I love it. Jill, thanks so much. This book is going to make you money when you buy it. So buy it and read it. And don't just buy it, because if you buy it, that's a total waste.
That's a waste of your money.
That's a waste of your money.
Yes. And time.
Buy it and read it. Because it really is. It's a fairly fast read, because you'll get scared because the book is talking about you.
I am, but the truth of the matter is, like I said, I struggled with every one of those issues, and I had to experiment with different ways, and I give people tons of experiments they can try to find out what works for them.
Great. Hey, my name is Mark Hunter at the Sales Center, and this has been another book interview with Jill Konrath. More sales, less time. Great selling.